Tivoli Gardens is well known for being one of the best theme parks that have ever been created, making its debut back in 1843 when this park first opened. It only really had the gardens. However, ever since the roller coaster opened back in 1914, this park has been expanding so much with new rides and also attractions. However, where is this theme park located? Tivoli Gardens is located in Hovedstaden in Denmark, and this is actually a really easy part to get to. The reason why I say this is due to being located right in the centre of Copenhagen. This is the largest city in Denmark and it's a great place to visit. However, in terms of the park itself, the first roller coaster you'll likely see is the Demon. This was my personal favourite ride at the park and it's honestly just amazing. The first roller gets some decent airtime in the back row, you also get some great hang time whilst heading through a 0G roll. And even though it's the smallest bin and floorless coaster, it still packs a punch. Also not to mention that this makes it one of the best night rides in the country. The other major coaster at the park is the roller coaster. This is Europe's oldest coaster and dates back to 1914, and by far the standout part on this coaster is the airtime. In my opinion, this is some of the strongest airtime in the country and it's honestly just amazing. Along with this, it's got some great theming which really improves the coaster. Overall, this is a fun ride and definitely makes my second favourite coaster at the park. The newest coaster at the park comes in the form of the Milky Way Express. Built by Matt Rides in 2019, this is one of their power coasters, and in terms of the layout, this is actually really unique for its ride type, and the reason why I say this is due to the track heading over multiple buildings. This makes for a great coaster, but what really surprised me was the lighting package. This is most notable on the station, just looked amazing. The last coaster at the park is their Kiss Coaster, which comes with the name of the Camel Trail, and even though it's their smallest coaster, you still get some decent airtime along with some great theming. Something else to point out is that this is one of the smoothest roller coasters I've ever ridden. Overall, it makes for a fun ride, but nothing to rush to when visiting the park. Some other great attractions at the park include the Golden Tower. This was my personal favourite flat ride at the park and gave some great views over the city. Another thing to mention was that this ride looked amazing at night. Another flat ride at the park was Fata Morgana, recently opening back in 2016. This is essentially 3 rides in one, and when I visited the park I only got to experience the wild ride. This was actually really good fun which gave you some great views over the city. Probably the most well known ride at the park is Tic Tac. This was a great flat ride and was actually quite intense. Another thing to mention was that just like most rides at the park, the theming was amazing. Another ride at the park is the Swing Carousel, and as much as you find these all over the world, it was actually one of the best ones I've experienced. This is due to the water effects being located all around the ride. The last flat ride which I wanted to mention was the Temple Tower. This was a decent drop tower which gave some great views over the Demon, but what made this ride so unique was that you pulled yourself up the tower. This was a really cool experience, however I wouldn't rush to it. The only dark ride I got to experience at the park was the Flying Trunk. This has some decent theming along with some animatronics. However, on my one ride, the voiceover was all in English. I'm not sure whether I just got lucky or not, however it's definitely something to point out. The only other attraction I got to experience at the park was the Fun House, and as much as this is one of the weak ones I've experienced, it's still great fun and definitely something to do if you have the time. So in terms of entertainment, Tivoli Gardens mainly focuses on shows and character interactions, and as much as I didn't get to watch any of their shows, they are claimed to be some of the best in the city. However, as I just mentioned, they do also have character interactions, and as much as these are quite hard to find, you can occasionally see them next to some of their stages. Another thing which I wanted to mention was that unlike many parks, this actually had a lot more entertainment roaming around the park. This was really nice to hear as it really improved the atmosphere of the overall park. So in terms of other information to visiting Tivoli Gardens, I'd personally try arriving at the park at least half an hour before opening. This will then allow you to get onto your first attraction and hopefully be near the front of the queue. And in terms of what attraction to head to first, I'd personally recommend heading straight to the Demon. This is due to this coaster often getting some long lines throughout the day. However, after you finish your ride on the Demon, I'd personally recommend heading straight over to the Golden Tower. This is due to this ride having a very low capacity and also slow operations. So after you experience some more of the park's attractions, you'll likely be looking for some lunch. And in terms of what time to have lunch, I'd personally recommend eating at either 11 or 2. This is due to some of the food options getting relatively busy around 1 o'clock. However, in terms of where to eat, on my visit I didn't actually get to experience any of the food options. However, some of the best look like Old Italy and also Demon Grilling. These both look like great options and definitely somewhere I'd like to head to on my next visit. So after this, I'd personally recommend taking another look around the park and experiencing some more of their attractions. However, unlike many parks, once you get to around 6 o'clock, the park suddenly empties out, and for the last 4 hours of the day, everything had a 0-minute wait. And as much as the park is amazing at day, once the sun goes down, it just brings it on to the next level. And in terms of what rides to do at night, I'd personally recommend riding the Demon and also the roller coaster. This is due to get some awesome views over the park and also the city. However, once you get to the end of your day at the park, you'll likely be looking for some merchandise. And unlike many parks in the country, the only thing we could find with the park was some posters. And as much as these were cool, they were way too overpriced at just under £40 each. And in my opinion, this is the one area which I feel like the park needs to improve on. However, what are my overall thoughts on Tivoli Gardens? In my opinion, Tivoli Gardens is one of the best theme parks in Denmark. For some of the best roller coasters in the country to some of the best night rides in the world, it's no wonder why this park has been getting so much praise over the years. However, what do you think of Tivoli Gardens? Make sure to leave any thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.